Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
Mercury, Stardust. She's a beacon of hope in the darkest night. Mercury, Stardust. She'll teach you how to make it all alright.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals! As always, I am your host of Maintenance is a Drag, the trans handyman, Miss Mercury Stardust. Every single week, we take calls from wonderful listeners about their maintenance questions and their life questions. And this week, I am joined by my best friend in the whole world, Madison 7-foot siren, and the person who is late for every single thing, including this gosh down podcast, Amethyst Von Trollenberg.
What's up, clowns?
Hey!
How you doing, bitch? I feel wonderful. I feel lovely. I feel like I'm in this, basement office that you've made a basement home. And I'm really proud of you for that.
When you first came down here years ago, when you first came to the studio, did you think I was in the basement? Do you think this is worthy of the trans handyman?
You know what? When I first got here, it did look like it was dug out by a naked mole rat, but that's okay because I knew that you had the maintenance experience to take it to at least like a Goonies cave, and you did that. I'm still waiting for us to find the pirate ship, but whatever.
So are you saying that this is treasure? You think this is pirate's treasure is my space?
I think it's somewhere in here. Yeah.
You may not know this, everybody, but Amethyst Von Trollenberg and I were co-hosts of a weekly burlesque show here in tropical Madison, Wisconsin called 5 Stars.
I'm going to stop you right there because co-host was a very strong statement for what I was doing on that program. I would kind of show up, and while you were changing, I'd kind of like yap on the mic a little bit.
You're also one of the most talented singers I've ever met, but you would never give yourself that credit.
Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book, and the broom. It's time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. So come to the cabaret. Wine, come hear the band. Come blow your horn, start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. What good's permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away? Life is a cabaret, old chum, and come to the cabaret.
So,
well, I will today.
Oh, okay.
Mercury, Stardust. She's the beacon of light in the darkest.
I don't know. I just heard it and I already forgot. Hey, speaking of things I forgot, did you know that this show is about maintenance questions?
Girl, yeah. Actually did.
What is your relationship with maintenance, Amy?
Well, the way I look at maintenance is if I have a problem in my home, I know what I can do is get on my phone, search in that little search bar for Mercury Stardust tips on such. I will find that video, I will watch it approximately twice, and then I will send you a text message, and I'll say, Mercury, I don't know how to do this, girl, and there we go. It will be fixed in a matter of days.
Are we ready to give a stranger on the internet a call to help them with their maintenance questions? You ready?
I'll sure do my best. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. Hey there. Hi. How's it going?
Hi, Mercury Stardust. This is Becky. I'm doing well.
What's up, Becky? What is the problem, my friend?
All right. Well, I have this dresser that has these fancy gliding closures on it, but it won't stay closed. I close it all the way and it just likes to creep open about 2 inches.
Okay. Before I give the answer here, or what I think we should do,
Okay.
Amethyst, as a professional person of some kind, what is your suggestion?
Okay. Have you contacted a medium at all? A spiritual medium?
That is exactly what I thought initially, and I was.
Bitch, you have a poltergeist.
I think there's a ghost. It would happen when I walked by it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, what is going
Somebody
on?
call Whoopi Goldberg right now.
Yes.
Where is she? I need Oda Mae on the scene right now.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
You have a
Miss
ghost.
Leo.
Yeah, call Hollywood Medium. I think that's the way you should handle this. I don't recommend Ouija boards. I did see Paranormal Activity. That did not end well.
I have done a Ouija board. I am not doing that again. Ew.
That's how you got the poltergeist. See, that's why y'all play with that shit. I told y'all. That's some white people shit.
I haven't done a Ouija board in like 20 years, but I gotta tell you, I remember specifically what my experience was with the Ouija board. Have you never done a Ouija board, Amy?
Absolutely the fuck not. I used to, bitch, the place I work at used to sell Ouija boards and I would hide them.
It's always someone in the group that's pranking you. Like someone's like, "Oh, let's do the Ouija board," and it's just a prank. Like I don't believe that it happens, but there is somebody there that's making it move.
I feel like this is going to get me in trouble, but I, in fact, don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in them. I don't think there's anything. I don't think there's anything such things as spirits. I don't think there's anything that happens. I think when we die, there is nothing that happens. I know that's dark. Yeah. That's what I believe. Amy, what do you believe?
I believe that there is no point in fucking with that shit. Because why would you invite that energy into your space to begin with? I don't know. I don't need to know. That's none of my business. That's what I think about that.
But Rebecca, why did you call again?
Okay, yes. So my haunted dresser. The doors keep opening.
I think that there might be a warped railing. Ah, that sounds smart, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, that does sound smart.
Doesn't it? I feel like I use the words. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I would do. How many drawers are in your dresser? How many drawers?
7, 3 at the top, and then 4 at the bottom, like side by side.
Is it all the drawers that are coming out, or is it just the one?
It's 2. So it's the two like middle drawers. They're long. Yeah. Okay. And I've tried taking them out and putting them back in. You have to like lift up this little piece to pull them all the way out.
And is it metal railings or is it like wood and wood railing?
No, it's metal. It's metal and it has like plastic. Yeah. And it's like,
sometimes
like
that plastic
on the inside.
Yeah, sometimes that plastic will like crack off. But you can get drawer replacement railings for like a pretty cheap price. Like you can get them for like $15.
Okay.
They're not, and I think what you could do, Rebecca, is take all the drawers out and take a flashlight and just kind of like look around the railings and see if anything's warped. Because if it's on a downward slope at all, or if any of the screws are loose, it's going to make that drawer just like naturally want to come and swing out. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. And I didn't look at the screws. But yeah, you know what? That is a great idea. I'm going to pull them all out and look at the railings.
Yeah.
And then possibly replace these. Yeah.
And if that does not work, you need to call Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah. Okay, I was going to say, if that doesn't work out, somebody's trying to tell you something.
Right?
Is there anything else broken in your house?
Yes. But we don't got time for all that.
Why would you ask that?
That was the best answer. Rebecca, you just saved me. You saved me. You were like, no, we don't have time for that. You're a better host of this show than I am, to be honest. Okay, Rebecca, thank you for the phone call. This was a great time. I hope that your ghosts start becoming handy and don't, make things worse for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Amy, if you were a ghost, what would you be holding on to? What would be the reason why you are hanging around this earth?
To be petty.
That's
I've
such-
been known to be petty. I've been known as Petty Murphy, Petty White, Petty LaBelle in the past. And, perhaps there's something in that dresser that belonged to me. And I wanted them to know that, perhaps that they need to keep their hands off of it. And that would inspire me to come from beyond the pale.
I feel like I would be sticking around because my last goal in life is to fix that dresser. And until she fixes it, I have to stick around. I'm just like stuck here until that dresser is fixed.
So you think it's like their granddad or great grandparent, like, still broke? You need to look at that.
No, like for me, in my case, I was trying to fix the dresser, but then when I went downstairs to grab a new tool, I tripped and I died down the staircase. So I never got to finish that last repair. And now I'm stuck and I'm haunting the dresser until it gets repaired. That's my ghost story, and I'm sticking to it.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished,
Oh, man.
hang up.
Hold on, wait. Hey there, hi. This is Mercury Stardust calling. About 2 hours ago, I texted you and I said, "Hey, would I be able to?" Oh, hi!
Hello. You actually caught me just as I was about to shower. So perfect. timing.
Good. You know what? I always catch men when they're like ready to be done with me. How's it going?
Hi. Oh, things are going great, actually. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So, what's broken and how can Amethyst pretend to fix it?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me start with, first off, my name is Caleb, and I prefer he, him as my pronouns. So here's what I've got going on at my place. I have plaster walls in all throughout my house, especially in the bathroom. I've got a problem. My problem is I've got water damage right next to the tub, and we can't seem to figure out how to properly fix it. But more so, what I'm really looking for is, how do we make it so that way that wall doesn't look like it's got a patch in it?
Oh yeah, you're trying to like hide the patch itself, huh?
Yep.
Okay, Amy, you're a professional something. What would you say?
You know what? I feel like the experience that you're having is the universe telling you that you don't need that wall to begin with. I think what you need to do, excuse me, I'm trying to give my professional prescription here.
I'm sorry. Yeah, go continue.
I think that you should knock that wall down and turn it into a slip and slide from your bedroom to the tub. Boom.
Ooh, I like it.
Honestly, innovative idea. Or hear me out. You could fix it with joint compound. Hear me out.
What was that?
Simple.
I just heard joint.
Yeah, joint compound. Okay, here's the thing that you don't know about Amy, Caleb, is Amy's never had a drug or alcohol in her life, right? Is that
Not my teeth.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You always make joint comments as if you are a stoner. You've never gotten high in a day in your life, Amy. You don't even know what it feels like. And you're out here.
Excuse me, bitch.
Yeah.
I will have you know, I went to a horse show and I took a Benadryl.
Well, I'll tell you what, Amy, I get high for the both of us. How about that?
Oh, good.
Hey.
Okay. When you are stopping huffing and puffing, what you need to do is go to Home Depot and get yourself some joint compound. Have you ever used any type of like drywall repair or plaster repair?
I have not.
You have not. So you don't have any tools for this then?
My fiance might. I would have to dig around and find out. He used to be a contractor.
Oh, really? Oh, so you married
Doesn't mean
into
that we know how to do it. What's that?
Oh, what kind of contracting did he do? Was he a general contractor?
He actually used to work for a roofing company, so that doesn't really translate into being able to fix a wall that has water damage in a bathroom.
Yeah, the first thing you're gonna want to do in that instance is to like rip out all the plaster, and those are a pretty big job. Like whenever there's water damage, it's always worse than what it looks like. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like when I did my makeup for the first time. It's much worse than you could even see on the surface.
I was there. I saw it all.
I'm sure it's not
Amethyst
that bad.
was there. Amethyst was there, and it was bad. That being said, you're gonna want to get yourself a joint knife, a drywall tub of some kind, and then you're going to want to get yourself a bunch of like 10-inch and 12-inch blades to try to be able to make this work. Now, it's going to be, when you're doing drywall repair, it's a lot of skill. I don't know if are you like familiar with any like makeup or any like, I don't know, like cooking of any kind? Like what is your,
first off,
is your specialty?
I'm a cook.
You're
I'm
a cook?
and I'm a gardener. And I grew up with drag queens, so we're in the right place.
Okay.
She said, "Excuse me, bitch. I will have you know."
I was just put in my place.
One thing about it and two things for sure.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, that's the thing. I always like to relate this to skills you already have. So,
okay,
if you are a baker or a cook of some kind, right? You know what it's like when you need the right ingredients. And really, when it comes to joint compound, it is all about that. You want it to look like when you have everything prepped and ready to go, you want the joint compound to be kind of like pancake batter. So you want to add a little bit of water to it. And then you take your spatula, which is basically a joint knife, and then you put that onto the frying pan, which is the wall. Is this working for you? Amy, is this pretty good?
It is.
Do you like it? Yeah, good.
Okay, no. See, I can break this down. So pretty much what you wanted is to be somewhere halfway between Silly Putty and MAC Full Coverage Foundation. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick that. I'm really getting into this because I'll have you know I am an expert in cosmetics. You wouldn't know that today because it does look like this eyebrow has a question and this one knows the answer. But you know, the important thing is to sort of get that consistency. What you're gonna want to do is spread that on the wall to like a medium full coverage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then blend it out. Blend out the edges.
Why is that? That was good. That was genuinely good, and it wasn't ready.
Very good.
Should she use a beauty blender?
Yeah. You got to use a beauty.
Should use a beauty blender?
Yeah.
For really to really seam those edges.
Amethyst, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to give you my drywall repair tools, and then when you're done with it, use just a blending brush or a blending sponge to finish it out. That would be the funniest experiment I've ever seen. I bet you could do it. I bet you if anyone could pull that off, it's Amy.
I want to do that now as well.
We got to make it happen. That's the next viral video,
Tim Gunn
Amy. Yeah,
let's Tim Gunn it. Make it work.
Let's Tim Gunn it. Okay, joint compound is basically what people use for drywall, but you can use it for plaster. In an ideal world, Caleb, you would take out all the plaster and install drywall. Like you would in this case. I always lobby for the concept of just getting rid of plaster altogether and adding drywall because the easiness of like the actual renovation itself. It can be a lot cheaper. You don't need to actually get someone who still does plaster. But if you want to maintain that natural look of plaster and you want to maintain that like natural like adding laths and everything, you can add, if there's any broken wood behind the wall, you can add it. You can add your laths back there and make sure that it's all ready to go. And then you add your joint compound. Does that make sense? Because your laths are just like boards. Yeah. They're just like strips of wood going across from one stud to another stud. And if they're broken, you could just repair them and then just use joint compound as if it was plaster. And then it's all about just like making sure that when you're smearing it on there, you're smearing it on in a consistent way and then feathering it off, kind of like what Amy actually said, which made some sense.
So
Yep.
to break that down, what you're
Get it.
going to want to do is get a 10 to 12-inch tool and really go from stud to stud until you get a really nice, smooth, creamy finish.
Why the 12-inch versus maybe something a little bit smaller?
Hey, it's not the size of the blade you're looking for. It's the motion of the ocean. Okay,
Fair,
Caleb.
fair. Okay.
I don't think we got to get too hung up on what the size we're bringing to the table. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's
Well, hey.
okay. Yeah, God damn it, Amy. This was supposed to be a PG episode. This was supposed to be a PG episode, you two. Okay.
We're going to have to create an after-hours Mercury then.
Yeah. Oh my God. I was a burlesque dancer for 15 years. Okay. There's nothing PG left with me. I swear. Okay. All of that being said, I prefer 12-inch if possible. Okay. I know.
Okay.
And the reason why, because the bigger the blade, the better. Guys, stop. Amy, stop looking at me. Stop doing that. Amy's just like waiting for it to come out. Okay. So and when you have a 12-inch blade, you're able to feather off the edges more consistency, and you can hide the marks a little bit more. The shorter,
I know that's right.
The shorter the blade, the smaller the strokes. Okay. And you want big, long strokes. And I know what that sounds like. I know.
You said it, not me.
I'm going to get canceled.
I'm so glad I could be a part of that.
Yeah, Caleb, you were my last phone call. It was nice while it lasted. Everyone take care. Amy, it's your show now. Bye. Well, Caleb, do you think that helps you at all, perhaps?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel more comfortable with that now, knowing what I need to be getting as well.
Good. Okay, Amy, do you have any last words of advice before we leave, buddy?
So remember, you want joint compound. You're going to want the 10 to 12-inch. Get that creamy finish. And then if you need help, you can bring your husband in. There's nothing wrong with bringing in a third.
Yeah, you two can double team this, and that's fine. Like, it's a good experience. Yeah, try new things as a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, really make sure.
That's
and
important.
Honestly,
that's important.
Here's my Caleb. Always be ready to get dirty with your partner. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be ready to get knee deep. He might have a little bit more experience in the home world than you do, but just know it's okay. It's your team effort.
And if you decide to go to that, if you really decide to break into that plaster, you really get in that hole. You get in there.
I will.
Okay, Caleb,
I'll
have a
get
good
elbow deep.
Stop. Okay, I'm ending this call. We are done. Caleb, have a good night. Good luck in your wall.
You.
Have a great shower. Bye, buddy.
Have a great night, everybody. Bye.
I think this is going great.
I aim at this. I gotta say, I knew having you on the show, things were gonna go off the rails. That was honestly one of my favorite calls I've ever done. I do not think we helped Caleb at all.
I mean, that's the best maintenance advice I've ever given. So I think we're doing
honestly
good.
Amy, I gotta tell you, I've known you for years. That's the first time I ever heard you say something that was maintenance related that was correct. I was flabbergasted. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh my God, all my years of talking about maintenance around Amy finally got through. I think I taught you something.
All these years, every time you talk about it, I just sort of dissociate. But, it must just snuck in there somewhere.
Are you ready for the last call?
Do it, mama. Let's do it. Let's get that call.
You're gonna clean up your act right now. We're not none of this smut that you're throwing around.
I've never been accused of being a smut peddler. How dare you? How very dare you?
I'm so sorry. Are you ready, babes?
No, before we go on to the next one, I have to tell you this. Listen, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I have a plan for my future. And I don't know if this can make the air, but I want to tell you about it before I forget.
Oh yeah, no, I want to hear your
know what
plan
that can be
about your
like,
life.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be the first trans woman to get pregnant, have an abortion, while reading the Feminist Manifesto at a drag queen story time. And I feel like that's in the cards for me. I'm on track for it, you know?
There's no way we can air that. There's no way. Amy, I cannot believe we just hit a wall. We finally found it. That's the limit. That's the limit, Amy. You found it. That's the line we cannot cross.
Oh, bitch, you got my lace lifted, girl. Okay. All right, I'll calm it down. I promise.
But Basil, you don't understand. I need the extra 25 minutes of runtime in the segment to read my dissertation on how beep from beep is actually a secretly queer-coded cultural icon. Look, I know it's a stretch, just like John and Sherlock and Kirk and Spock and Dean and Castiel and Buffy and Faith and Wednesday and Enid and Finn and Poe and Derek and Styles and what? I'm not selling it, huh? Ugh, fine. There's no accounting for taste. Today's segment is about the history of queerbaiting in media, but before I even get to that, I have to rapid fire touch on one other subject for context. So, let's see how fast I can talk. Yeah? Okay, let's go. Rainbow capitalism is a term that started to see use in the 1990s when discrimination began to diminish in the LGBT community and our purchasing power rose, making us more marketable to brands, most notably around June every year since the 2010s, when companies started slapping a rainbow flag sticker on just about anything and vocally donating to queer organizations so they're able to checkmark that they participated in Pride Month and rack up the brownie points in the gay community despite having absolutely no commitment to queer communities for the rest of the year, and media companies are no exception. All right! Now, let's talk about subtext. Did you get that? Because it's a bait and switch. Like, okay, let's rapid fire this next one too. An American film from 1934 to 1968, the Motion Picture Association of America released guidelines for what was allowed to be shown on screen, and that was known as the Hays Code, and it didn't allow a lot of things, like profanity, nudity, any mention of STDs, childbirth, talking smack about the clergy, sedition, arson, the use of firearms, and depictions of sex. So, film directors had to get creative about how to imply those things were happening, which led to the subtext implying those things were happening, and that's what critics of queerbaiting discourse say that the media is doing now, except it's not illegal to show gays on TV anymore, okay? I'm done! Queerbaiting is a marriage between rainbow capitalism and subtext. We queers make up a sizable demographic, and our continued increase of buying power means that media companies want to market to us. But we're still not a large enough demographic to be able to market to exclusively, and they don't want to alienate the rest of the fan base because, God forbid, straight people see gay relationships. Walking this tightrope is what leads to queerbaiting, stringing along fans who hope for more, all while scooping up all the loose change that's falling out of our pockets. Supernatural, for example, had a large population of men who enjoyed the show because of Dean's depiction as a rough and tumble ladies' man with a love of classic cars, and Monster of the Week horror shows in general tend to attract a more masculine crowd. But if Dean were to kiss Castiel, that would turn them off the show instantly, apparently. So, Supernatural held off on implying a closer relationship until later seasons, when those diehard male fans had already drifted away from the fan base because the show jumped the shark, but they wanted to retain their queer fans that shipped Dean and Castiel because they were still buying the merch and consuming the media. I won't spoil the end of the series for you all, but ask any Supernatural fan, it didn't end well. The problem is that the same thing keeps happening over and over. A queer relationship is teased, but never materializes. Media companies are hoping to continue cashing in on the notion that something is better than nothing, but we've started to grow wise to their game. Wednesday drew a substantial amount of ire for its queerbaiting of Wednesday and Enid, especially when Netflix premiered a Wins Gay Party ahead of the show, featuring a number of Drag Race performers. Then they had the typical "and they were roommates" plot between Wednesday and Enid, but then the execs went on to claim that, oh, they're both heterosexual, obviously, since they were in relationships with boys. Sorry. What? The thing about history is that it's just as important to look forward as it is to look backward. Knowing where you've been is important to know where you're going, but you still shouldn't drive a car solely by looking in your rearview mirror. Queerbaiting is one of those missteps. Media companies allowing "it has always been this way" to dictate "this is how it is." That's why it's important to direct your energy and spending power to media that actually portrays queer relationships, not toward media that hopes implying it is good enough. If you're interested in reading more about queerbaiting, Eve Ng is the expert that you want to take a look at. Her essay, Between Text, Paratext, and Context, Queerbaiting and the Contemporary Media Landscape, is a bit heavy, as you might have guessed from the title, but it really goes in depth about queerbaiting in media. We'll have a link to her work up on the website. And remember, as the boss lady likes to say, you're worth the time it takes to learn a little history. Here's Mercury.
Amethyst, thank you so much for being on this episode of Maintenance is a Drag. I appreciate you. You are my best friend. You are my least favorite co-host I've ever done the show with. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Girl, oh my God. I had such a great time with you. I'd say I'd do it anytime, but I'll probably be late. So probably anytime plus like 2.5 hours.
Let's schedule you right now, and you may do it one more time before the end of the year.
You got it, girl.
baby, I know what the answers are, but I do this with every guest, okay? So where can the
Right.
people online find you, and how can they follow you, Amethyst Von Trollenberg?
Well, that is a complicated question.
She has no
You can find my social media at Amethyst VT, but will I be there? Probably not.
No way.
Have I
You will not
posted in the past 5 years? Probably not. But that's okay, because one day I will, and it will tear you bitches out the frame.
I want you to know that there is video of you somewhere, of you singing something. I will make sure that that's in the show, and they have to see how actually truly talented you are, because you're a very talented singer, a very talented performer, and one of the smartest people I know. But you're also an asshole, and I love you so much.
I love you. I had a great time.
Everyone, remember, you're thanks to learn a new skill. Bye-bye.
Bye.
To be you, she'll teach you how to fix your house, how to fix it by yourself. The trans hand